Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and thank you all for watching. I'm Sarah from Who I Am Among the Pages, and if you haven't been here before, welcome, and I hope you decide to subscribe. Watch the video first, make sure you like it, but I hope you like it well enough to subscribe. Make sure to hit that little bell notification so you can see anytime I post, which is every Wednesday. And if you're not new here, it's great to see you again. I look so forward to doing this every week. I'm a little bit later actually recording the day of the upload, so it's a little weird, but we're getting through this. So first of all, how do you guys like the new haircut? I just got it cut like 2 hours ago, and I'm really digging it because my hair had been down to my waist. So getting it cut all the way back is definitely a big change, but I like it. It's comfortable, and I live in the South, so especially this past week, if you've been keeping up with the weather and the news, we have been living on hell's front porch. It has been so hot, and I'm so done with it. Plus, my hair was all split end, tangled, and no fun. So bye-bye. Not dealing with it anymore. I think it's cute. Make sure to tell me what you think, because, you know, I just kind of let her do her thing. I think it turned out well. But anyway, I just wanted to do a video today to kind of catch up with where I am on all my projects, and also go over an important topic that I really deal with and struggle with a lot of: when to write. So first off, right now we are in the middle of Booktubeathon, which is now known as the Reading Rush, but I'll never stop calling it that. And I have to say, I'm kind of failing at this. My last video was my TBR for it, and I've got 2 books going right now, plus the book I'd already been reading, Drums of Autumn, and I'm still working on that along. But this is so much harder than I was thinking it was going to be. Like, I really overestimated myself. But I have a trick up my sleeve to still be getting all of my badges. Still working on it, still going strong, but I guess I just forgot to factor in that you still have to, like, you know, live. Like, you still have to live your life, besides reading. So, it's been an interesting week. I really, really love the books that I've read so far. Can't believe I haven't read Phantom of the Opera before now. Everybody should read it. I'll probably do a video, like, probably not next week, because I'll do my wrap-up for the readathon next week. But after that, I'm probably going to do a, like, fangirl video over Phantom of the Opera, because I'd seen the 2004 movie with Gerard Butler as the Phantom, and Emmy Rossum. If I'm wrong about that, don't hesitate to correct me. But oh, and I just loved it. I love Gerard Butler as the Phantom, and you know, that the soundtrack, that was my favorite, but I liked the Broadway production of it, so I was really excited to be reading this. A whole lot of feelings about it, and I can't wait to talk. But yeah, we're in the middle of that, and we're also getting towards the end. Today is July 24th. We're getting towards the tail end of NaNoWriMo. And I have to say, it's gone very well. Like, you all aren't going to be reading it for quite a while, because I need to get it finished, which I am a little bit behind, but we're working on it. She's working. But, so, we're getting towards the end of that. I really love the book. I cannot wait for y'all to read it. But I do have to finish it and then figure out how I'm going to print it, because it is quite long, for your average little household printer to be printed. But I'm planning on printing it out. I learned how to bind books in high school. I think I've told you all this. So I'm binding it, making a cover for it, so it's like a legit, you know, I got my first printed book. So, you know, I have to do all that. I'm going to give it to my friend, give her plenty of time to read it, because I don't want the whole world to know it before who it was written for reads it. So after she reads it, then I'll be uploading it a chapter at a time, just like with number 9. Speaking of number 9, we're almost at the end, guys. This has been over a year in the making, and I'm finishing up the story. I'm tying up all the loose ends. We're going to find out what happens to Chase and Anna. You know, Ryan and Eric and Joe Gibbs, everybody's getting all tied up. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go do something real quick. Just had to be done in that moment. But I'm back, and so yeah, we're going to find out what happens with Chase and Anna, and how Ryan's going to tie into all of it, with Eric and Joe Gibbs, and you know, Alex Bowman, which if you've read it, you'll know the stigma around Bowman, but definitely think you should read it. My Wattpad will be linked down below. It's my most, you know, most well-known book. It was 3rd place in a competition under chick lit, and even, you know, even if you're not into fan fiction and chick lit, romance, that sort of thing, definitely think you should still check it out, because I'm not huge into just plain romance, so I really tried to go ahead and make it something everybody could read. And I think I've done okay, but still, make sure you read it so I know if I've done okay or not. Yeah, we're getting to the end of a lot of important things, and this Saturday or Sunday, we'll have to see, because so many projects and so much happening. This Saturday, Sunday will be the next chapter, which is written by me, of Racers in Disguise, which is my co-writing project with Marissa Tomeo. If you haven't checked it out, you need to check it out. I'll link that down below too. It's going really well. I'm really happy with it. We're right at the beginning, but I think you all will like it, especially as it goes on and develops. So yeah, that's pretty much what's what with projects. So into the meat of the video, when do you know how to write? Or how do you know when to write? Like, when do we do this thing that we're always saying we're going to do? We always intend to do it, and it doesn't always get done. You know, when I started writing, I was actually still a cashier at Walmart. When my senior year of high school and into my freshman year of college, I worked at the local Walmart as a cashier. And I started number 9 over the summer after graduation. I was very lonely, and I had a rough time in high school, especially my senior year. A lot happened, a lot of life that is kind of hard for somebody who's so young to deal with at once, but you get through it, you're better for it. But I was very lonely. I was very, like, distraught by some of the things that had happened. So I started writing number 9 just to make myself happy. And I made some friends, the book gained traction, and then I realized, like, I really love to do this. So that was the start of how I figured out that I want to go to school for English, and I want to do this forever. Like, this is my passion. Like, books and all their glory is everything I love. So finding time to write when you have a job, especially when you're working and in school, is very difficult. How I dealt with it was just making sure I had 10 minutes a day. My schedule, my fall semester of last year, I had a 9 a.m. and then I originally had like an 11, I think, because it was 9 to 10:45. Then I had an 11 o'clock, but I ended up dropping that for good reason. And maybe I'll make a video about my college experience. It might help somebody out there. Or maybe just make you not feel so alone in it, because it is kind of overwhelming. Ended up dropping that, and then I had 2 afternoon classes. And then for the first 6 weeks, I had an evening class, which was like a college preparedness class, which, honestly, if you have the option not to take it, I can pretty much tell you the gist of what they did in that class. Basically, do your homework, study, don't cheat on your final. That was pretty much it. But, so, I tended to make sure, whether it was 10 minutes before bed, 10 minutes in my break between classes, or even if I got up a little bit early, or, you know, took the dog out, she was faster. Oh, speaking of the dog, nope, she's still not into it. She does not like the camera. Anyway, like, if the dog got done a little faster, I'd even take 5 minutes then, and then 5 minutes, you know, when I was eating my lunch, and go ahead and just write a little bit. You know, if you write 5 minutes at a time, you know, for me, that's a good chunk. It's a good enough time to get a thought out. And then if you're consistently taking small breaks throughout the day to write, you have one thought, you can read over, always read over what you wrote the last time that you sat down to write. I think that is a huge help. It definitely helps me. And here's the dog. Whoa, come back. She hates me. But definitely always read over what you wrote the last time before you start writing again, so things aren't disjointed and you don't repeat yourself. Saves you time in the long run. Alright, so we're back again. My camera reached capacity, so, you know, a little bit of deleting here and there, and, you know, old 17-minute videos that didn't need to be on there are now gone. But anyway, you know, read over what you wrote the last time, and if you take small breaks, you know, you've got 15 minutes at work, pull out your phone, because I used Wattpad at first to write everything. So if you have it on your computer and on your phone, then even if you had sat down at your desk to write originally, it should anyway, as long as you keep the app updated, will have updated on your phone. So you're sitting, you know, in the break room at work, just pull out your phone and work for a little bit. It goes a long way, and that was how at first I really got a lot done. And you know, I found that because of taking multiple breaks throughout the day to write, I found that most of the day I was thinking about my story and how to develop it, even when I wasn't working on it. So my first tip for finding time to write and when to write is just, if you're really, really busy, take small chunks of time just for like a thought, to get a thought, like a very small conversation or a witty comeback down, even if it's not, you know, not even 100 words, just giving some thought to it and making sure that you're taking time out of your day to put work onto your project goes a very long way. Number 9 is, I think it's 112,000 words right now, and probably a solid 50,000 of them were written that way. So the other problem that I've come across with knowing when to write is when you have too much time. I took the summer off because once I get onto campus, I've got a very, very, very full schedule this semester, plus a job. So I am packed to the gills. That's why I'm writing number 9 now, and then I'm going to be releasing chapters once I'm in school. So it seems like I'm still working on it, and I still can be active on Wattpad, but it's already done. I don't have to worry about getting it done on top of everything. So I found that when I have a lot of time on my hands, I tend to get even less done than when I'm busy. Because there's something about having the whole day that it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, I'll have some lunch and then I'll do it. Oh, well then, you know, I had to take the dog out. So after I eat dinner, I'll get it done. And it never happens. So for situations like that, I really get yourself on a schedule with it. Like, I know a lot of my viewers are pretty young, so I'm talking especially in terms of like summer, and when on the weekends, like, get yourself a schedule on the weekends. It really helps. And I shouldn't be preaching this because I'm not the best at sticking to a schedule, but I really try, and when I do stick to a schedule, it really helps my writing. So I've tried to this summer to make sure that I'm getting a good amount of writing done. Get up by 9. Like, I try to be up by like 7, but you keep hitting snooze, it happens. You know, so be up by 9, you know, get some breakfast, brush your teeth, do your thing, and then sit down like a half hour to 45 minutes after you wake up, after you've had time for your brain to start firing, and you feel confident and you feel awake. That's the big thing. So when I do that, I try to write for an hour at a time. So, you know, say I'd start at 9:30, so write till 10:30. See how many words you've got. If you've got 1,000 words, that's awesome. And try to set yourself a word goal. Most of the time, mine's 2,000 words a day. So, you know, if I can sit down for that hour and knock it out in an hour, which I don't think I've ever done, but if I could do that, then you're done for the day. Be productive, you know, maybe go back and edit it, but you've done your job for the day. So by making sure that you have a goal for yourself every day, you know, that's how I've gotten a lot done this summer. And also do this on the weekends. Like, maybe if you work a full-time job, or you're a full-time student like me, and working part-time, you know, once school starts back, and it sucks to have to get up on Saturday morning or Sunday morning, but go ahead and do it because your story will benefit from it. The third thing I wanted to talk about is distractions. I am the worst with letting myself get distracted. I am a YouTube fiend. I love YouTube, like the r/whatever Reddit videos and the scary stories. And if you all have ever seen Rob Dyke, who does like the unexplained, like creepy creepy things. I don't think they're creepypastas. Like, most of them are like serial killer stuff. You know, and then BookTube, and I love like Jeffree Star, that kind of stuff, some of that. So I am the worst about putting a video on, like, alright, it's just background noise, and then 20 minutes later I find myself on my third video. And I have a hard time turning the screen off and putting it away so I can get work done. But you just gotta do it. Like, you know, I find that my writing is so much better when I do just suck it up and put everything away. It's, I don't want to say it's a lot more creative, but it has a lot more variety in it, since I can allow my mind to go in 500 different directions when 250 of those aren't taken up by trying to listen to the background noise. If you work well with background noise, I would suggest something like a white noise machine. I use Relax.io, I think is how it is, because you can mix your own background noise. So mine's a mixture, if I remember right, mine's a mixture of like rain on a window, a fireplace crackling, wind maybe. It's something like that. And I can deal with that. Like, especially when I'm reading in a loud place, I always use that. I just pop my earbuds in and go on with my life, you know, enjoy my book. But I would definitely suggest that if you need background noise when you write, because otherwise it's too easy to get distracted. And if you can watch a YouTube video and do your best, go for it. But I know I can't. I think there's a lot of people out there like me. So yeah, those are my 3 big tips for how to get writing done. You know, when you're busy, when you should be busier, or you're easily distracted. Again, I shouldn't be preaching all this, because I'm not perfect. I don't always get what I'm supposed to do done, because of, you know, a billion different reasons. And that's okay. It's also important not to be too hard on yourself, because, you know, if you set a 1,500 word goal for the day and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're realizing, oh my God, I only got, you know, 1,100 words written. You know, oh, I'm such a failure. Oh, I'm never going to get this done. I'm not going to achieve my dreams. Like, that is so counterproductive. And, you know, and I do this sometimes too, but it's not worth it. You're going to end up feeling terrible about yourself and start associating these bad things with that project. And who wants to do something in their free time that makes them miserable? But yeah, the best advice I've had, I got from a book that I was given. It was Janet Evanovich, who is a very good author. Her guide to writing was that, you know, if you want writing to be a job, treat it like a job. Get up at a certain time, do a certain amount of work, call it quits for the day. But when it comes to that, and I do try to follow that, I really try to follow that advice, and it's great advice, but it also comes with not beating yourself down over it, you know, because everybody who's had a terrible part-time job will understand, like, the worse you can make it better for yourself just by trying to find the better parts of it, and if you stress yourself over tiny things, it makes it considerably worse. So, you know, that's my advice on things. You know, take it or leave it. You know, some people might do the exact opposite of everything I do and have a way better book than me. And if it works for you, that's great. But this is what works for me. And number 9 has been relatively successful, so I consider that a win. My methods work for me, and, you know, if you're struggling to find what works for you, try somebody else's. You don't know unless you try, and eventually you have your own style of doing things. That's it for today, though. Make sure to comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. My Wattpad, my co-writing project, and Marissa Tomeo's Wattpad will be linked down below. So if you're interested, check that out. And I hope you guys have a good week. See ya!